Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. I apologise for not being in my usual setup with my scarf and my background, but this is just for today's video. As you can see by the title, the Barnsley vlogger doing a couple of videos obviously before I go into the more detailed videos. But today's video is going to be about how I think Barnsley will fare back into their return to the Championship. Videos after this are going to be stuff like my what do you call it, like table predictions, my ranking the best grounds, ranking the best managers, stuff like that, all leading up to the pre-season friendlies. But today we're kicking off with how I think Barnsley FC will fare in the Championship on their return. As you guys know, we did go straight back up after getting relegated last year under Jose Marias. We did have players such as Ollie McBurney, Gary Gardner and Conor Mahoney and a couple of others on loan who unfortunately big good players couldn't keep us up. And we had basically the same squad as what we had this season. As you know by the retained squad that I did a video on, which you can go check on my channel, we have lost several players. Zeki Friars has left the club, Lloyd Isgrove and Adam Jackson. So that's 3 players that need replacing before the season. Because them 3 was mainly on the bench, making up the squad depth. Isgrove, not as much. Also, Ryan Hedges has been offered a new contract, along with Jack Walton, I think it was. It was either Jack Walton or Gueterex, one of the second, third keepers. They signed the contract, but Ryan Hedges and Adam Davies both got offered new contracts, but neither of them have signed yet, and there's rumours they're both meant to be leaving. Hedges somewhere in Scotland, Aberdeen if I'm correct, and Davies on a big money move, big wage move to teams like Stoke or some other teams he's been linked with. So if them 2 go, that's 5 players we need to replace, and all them 5 players was part of our squad depth. At the end of last season, we were struggling with injuries, and like I said, the squad depth wasn't the best. We had a lot of youth players squeezing onto the bench to make up the numbers, but credit to them, with players like Jacob Brown who came through at the start of the season and had an amazing season. Players like Callum Styles who came back from loan from the promoted Bury, however you pronounce it. He came on the bench and did some really good games, and when he came on from subs, and other young players also sneaked onto the bench, like your Ben Williams. He had a few games as well and he played well, and players like that. But like I say, we had injuries towards the end of the season. We had players like Dougal, who did a hairline fracture in his leg. McGean was out for a little bit. Obviously, Kiefer Moore was out for ages. And a couple of others. Danny Pilios missed a few games towards the end of the season. Players like that. And also we missed Woodrow at the start of the season. So before we even get into playing any games, we need to regain that squad depth by signing a couple of players. Obviously, Daniel Stendhal and his crew will have his their thingy list of who their targets are, who their summer transfers are. So yeah, even if it's bringing young kids in or bringing more kids up from the academy, whichever way works the best. Because I'm not one to complain about academy kids. You've seen some kids that have come through our youth, like Williams, Brown this season. Also ex-players like Holgate, who is now playing for West Brom, nearly got promoted to the Prem, unfortunately lost in the playoffs for them. And your players like John Stones, who are doing it big time in the Premier League, winning the Premier League trophy back to back. So I'm not too bothered about the youth, but we do need to purchase a few players to bring that squad depth on the bench back. As for first team signings, I do believe obviously we will need a brand new keeper. If Davies does leave, we'll need a first team keeper. And we also need a backup striker, because at the end of the season, like I say, our squad depth got very weak towards the end. With Kiefer Moore getting injured, Woodrow was panned up there by his sen, having to do all the work by his sen. Not because other players couldn't do it, but because our guys that usually played up front, like TMs and that, were revoked to playing out wide, which is where TM made his name for his sen on that left wing. Cavare has also been linked with Millwall, so we will need a new starting right back. This is bearing in mind we keep all the players that we've got so far. So I reckon we'll need a starting keeper. In my opinion, I don't think Tiam is good enough for the Championship. Let me know your guys' thoughts. He's a good player. He's just too inconsistent for my liking. He'd be a very good guy off the bench So I reckon we need a new left mid or attacking winger that can play both sides. Would be very convenient to also give Jacob Brown a rest every now and then. And we also need a backup striker, like I say. And then off the bench, Barre will be coming off the bench because he used to play behind the striker in a 4-4-1-1 when we didn't have Moore. But he will obviously be coming off the bench when Moore and Woodrow are fit because they'll be playing the two up front. So like I say, new keeper. We've been linked with a few big German keepers, which is what I'd like to see. With Cavani leaving, we're also linked to our Bristol City fullback, Matty Taylor, I do believe his name is. Let me know your thoughts on that. And yeah, like I say, I do think we do need another winger to get the squad depth. Hopefully Dougal should be back, so we shouldn't need another centre mid. Bearing in mind we're keeping Mount and McGeehan. And like I say, a bit more depth on the bench. That's my thought on the players. Now, here's my thought on how we will fare in the league next year. Like I say, if we keep everyone we finished the season with, besides the players that we've lost the contracts and letting go, and we replace them correctly, and we build that squad depth back that we had at the start of the season, I think we'll just do just fine with a couple of key additions, like I say, in the net, on the wing and up front. I think we'll do just fine for their first season. We always seem to do well in the first season we go back up. It's just the next season we usually finish just above the relegation, and then we usually just sell straight after that. As you know, we're a selling club. But hopefully we can get a few good loans in. We only had 2 loans last year, which was Barre and Woodrow, who actually extended their deals for the next couple of years, which is great. But I think we'll do well as long as we make the right additions, and in Stendhal we trust. He's had 1 season at the club and he's got us promoted, so you can't really fault him. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the season, and I think in the first season, if we keep and if we add good strong additions, we'll do just fine. And I think we'll stay up in the first season. Let me know your thoughts and let me know what other videos I can do. Thank you for watching. See you soon.